So if your characters are less than good and you feel like you just don't have a way to make them better, well, I got a really good video for you right now. Here is the CEO of Skritter. And if you don't know what Skritter is, actually, I'll let him tell you. And he's going to share how you can make your writing way better with Skritter and some more. Jake, take it away.
Hey, 大家好，我是 Jake from Skritter, not Jake from State Farm. Yeah. Let's talk all about characters. So as Quajo was saying, I run Skritter, and Skritter is a application that helps you learn to read and write characters incredibly fast. We're the world's #1 character writing app. And basically what we do is we let you use those fancy smartphones you have that you're using right now, or your computers, and we have hundreds of textbooks. Here it is right here. Let's just watch this for a second.
So keep going.
Okay. Yeah, so as you can see on the screen here, Skritter is an application that is helping you learn Chinese. It's a flashcard-based application primarily. And so we have 4 different card types in Skritter. We have a reading card, we have a definition card, we have a writing card, and we have a tone card. And you use Skritter by actually interacting with them in a very active way. So unlike a lot of applications that might have you trace characters, for example, we actually make you write them on the screen. So we're gonna see if you remember how to write these characters every single time. And we use our spaced repetition system to optimize things. So when you get characters wrong, we remind you sooner and help you study them more. And when you get them right, well, you put them off into the future, and then we see in a month or 2 if you still remember them. And if you don't, that's totally okay. We'll help you again. So Skritter as an app has hundreds of different textbooks, so many of the popular resources. We have some cool YouTube content that we create.
What is your favorite textbook? Everybody wants to know.
What is my favorite textbook? Well, I started with integrated Chinese. So did I. Yes. Yeah. And it was a great one. So we actually have that textbook in there, which is super fun. So with Skritter, you can study just about anything in the world, and we'll probably have support for you. We also have the ability to create your own custom study decks inside of Skritter. We integrate with everyone's favorite mobile dictionary, Pleco, so you can look things up really quickly in Pleco if you want to. So there's just a bunch of different things that you can do in Skritter. But we have a learning mode that helps you master character stroke order. We have a teaching mode. We have like a testing mode if you just want to go in and do like a couple, all right, I want to see how good I am, right?
Tell us, please.
Yes.
What is, and by the way, you can get 10% off of Skritter. If you go into the link in the descriptions below, it's down there. And of course, Jake is super passionate about Skritter, but Jake, please, what's the best way to level up your writing with Skritter? Break it down for us. We all know writing is super hard, and I want your
Absolutely. So I think the best way, it doesn't matter if you're using Skritter or not, the best way to learn Chinese characters really quickly is to actually there's like 5 easy steps to doing this. And the first step for learning to write any Chinese character is you have to look at the characters, right? So first we need to kan. We need to look at the character. And I mean, look at the character here. It's not like, oh, look at how pretty it is, but it's doing a little bit more of an analysis on a character. Is there any, characters are made up of strokes, but they're not just strokes, right? They're a combination of these things, and they can become a character, or they become a component of a character. And so when you look at these characters, it's really important that we take like a really intricate look into this thing. Is there anything in this character that we recognize that we might have seen before? And so we start using this kind of engaging in this pattern recognition. So that's step number 1, is to look at the character. Step number 2 is to analyze the character. Chai. So we're going to chai kailai the character. We're going to like separate it apart. And what this means here is that you don't really want to get down to like the stroke level. So often in books, they're going to show you the stroke order of a character, and that's really important. It helps us look up characters in dictionaries. It helps us write characters really efficiently. It helps us like make our characters look really cool with cursive and everything else. But we don't want to overly break characters down into individual strokes. So what we want to do is we want to look at these components, right? And sometimes they're called radicals, but oftentimes these days we call them components, functional components or sound components. I want to figure out how those things come together to make this character. And we actually have a character course inside of Skritter right now. There's going to be 17 episodes total. There's 13 live right now. And actually in this course inside of Skritter, we cover all of this. And they're all like 5-minute videos, but we break down everything that you need to know using 145 different characters to like master thousands. So second part of this is to analyze the character, figure out what the functional components are and how this character works, what the structure of the character is. You know, is this like a top-bottom character? Is this a left-right character? Is this like a contained character? All those different kinds of things. So once we're done with step 2, our third step is to xie. So now we're at the point where we've read the character, we've analyzed the character. Now we're going to write this character. And so we're going to use, and we don't want to like copy the character, right? Because copying the character, like our brain, we're just going to focus on exactly what we see, and we're going to just do this, and we're not really able to identify any mistakes that we make. So kind of like close your eyes or put whatever you're looking at aside and see, do I know this character well enough that I can write it from my memory? And Skritter does this like automatically when you study on it, which is fantastic, but you can do this on a piece of paper as well. Just don't want to cheat. So when we're done with step number 3, which is to write our character, now we get to step 4. So our step 4 is B. So now we want to do B. We want to compare. Is what we wrote compared? Does it look like the thing that we're trying to write? And if not, well, time to start over, right? Got to erase what you're doing and just write it again, scratch it out. You know, find out where you're incorrect. And it doesn't need to be, it's not to say that this has to look, you know, perfect or whatever. But like it needs to be recognizable. It should have the kind of shape and composition of the character you're trying to do. And then, so that's our step 4. And then our step 5 is to G. It's to remember the character long term. And here we can use our tools, right? So we can use Skritter. We can, you know, we can create custom flashcards. Just write a flashcard, or like, you know, set a reminder on your phone to like remember this character in the future. And some other ways that we can remember characters is by writing mnemonics for them. So memory hooks, making up little stories, you know, that kind of stuff. But really, I think technology is so good these days that like, if you really want to make a character stick long term, you know, plug it into Skritter, plug it into Anki, whatever it is, and then you're going to remember, you know, remind yourself in the future. And I think if you do those 5 steps for every single character, it may seem like it's more work, but you're actually like front loading the work. You're doing all the analysis and everything, and it just lets your brain understand and comprehend this thing. And the results, the studies, the long-term research on this suggests that anytime you go deep enough into a character like this, you're gonna remember it significantly better in the future. So just writing things like hundreds of times, it's like the worst way to study. Sure, you might remember it tomorrow, and sure, you might feel good for a few minutes, but like a week from now, a month from now, you're probably gonna forget it. But if you do these things, you're gonna remember it long-term. I guarantee it.
Thank you, Jake. CEO from Skritter, guys. Leave your comment below, and I'm sure he'll see them. And I want you to tap or click the screen right there to learn to write any character in 5 easy steps. It's a video over on Skritter's channel. And remember, today is the most important day for you to improve just a little bit. See you on